I don't feel like, yeah, there were instances, but there was not something that was continually ongoing for a very long time. You know, everybody dealt with bullies to some extent, or with bullying to some extent. I didn't have it worse than anybody else. Just something people have to overcome. The worst things for me growing up, as far as that feeling of like helplessness and weakness and everything that bullying tends to do, was watching like some like domestic abuse issues with my mother, and you know, someone that she was with like after my parents were divorced and things like that. And so that really shaped more than anything. I think what training Jiu Jitsu, training martial arts in general, like did for me is empowering me and giving me confidence again, and making me feel, you know, worth something, and having some kind of self-worth and self-value. And so that's the story that to me is more powerful than any like actual kids bullying me during school. Yeah. Because that was where I felt the most insignificant, the most helpless. Was, you know, when you see your mother being physically harmed by another person, and you're not equipped and physically or any other way to do anything about it, you know. And that was a difficult part for me.
Did that, I mean, so I experienced the same thing. So and if you don't have a good outlet for the anger that wells up, because it's so frustrating, that if you can't stop it or do anything about it, what did you do with that?
Well, it wasn't constructive at first. Like, it was, you know, I had, you know, some troubled parts of my adolescence. I think I was always a pretty good kid, but you know, I got in some trouble, like whenever I was younger. You know, I went out and did destructive things, and went stupid places with stupid people, and did some stupid stuff, you know. And you know, I didn't do anything like super illegal. I never got into drugs or anything like that. But you know, I was very self-destructive, and I didn't know how to turn with that. And so I always just kind of just trying to fill that void. And then, you know, a couple years later, after like, you know, getting a little older, and then my sister passed away, and I was just kind of left in this funk at a point in my life. And this was right before I started any martial arts at all. And a buddy of mine talked me into going to, you know, some of his taekwondo classes with him and stuff like that. And then it gave me an outlet. It wasn't a perfect outlet. I enjoyed it, but more than anything, it was just a distraction. So whenever I found jiu-jitsu, I actually had something that a little more therapeutically helped me to make sense of some of the chaos that I experienced in my life. Right. You know, like you have this like chaotic, like nothing really means anything, you know, it's this like very nihilistic feeling about everything. It's like, man, I've lost the most important person in my life, and I've had to see, you know, my mom go through this, and I'm helpless. What am I supposed to do? Who am I ever supposed to be or amount to? And then, you know, to me, jiu-jitsu is like, because of the nature of it, because of like, you know, if you get metaphorical about it, and how you solve problems in jiu-jitsu, and how you experience reactions, and how you deal with your karma of making bad decisions instantly in the moment, you know. And you see, ultimately it's the ultimate karma experience. You know, you see how you treat people and the result that it has, and you see like how you demand people treat you, you know, and the result that has. And so that kind of gave me this therapeutic outlet that I never probably would have otherwise known existed. I didn't have that from any other source in my life. So I mean, that was truly life-saving to me. And that's the biggest thing, getting back to what you originally said, something about bullying that I try to impress upon the kids. It's not like, you know, some kids need to be coddled. Some kids need to be like woken up, you know, some kids need to be handled sternly. And it depends on the personality. And that's why it's a difficult thing. It's a delicate thing, because you don't want to break a kid, you know, you don't want to break them psychologically or emotionally, you know, and you also don't want to over coddle them in today's environment, you know. So giving them the awareness that look, you need to demand people treat you a certain way. And the best way to do that is first figure out that you need to treat people a certain way, you know, and on the flip side of that, demand that they do not treat you a certain way, and that you refrain from treating other people a certain way, you know. That's at the base level, the most basic element to bullying and anti-bullying. That's it right there, in my opinion.
You said